So now we're going to look at driving knowledge adoption and maintenance. And a few things that we need to do in order to help drive more knowledge adoption is make it available to end users. And so I'm in the Service Console and Lightning Experience. We previously looked at some of these different options or objects available from the drop-down here. And I want to note that knowledge is not available from this list of options. Now we can make knowledge available in some of these different page layouts, but I want to go ahead and show you how to make the knowledge tab or object available inside of this Service Console and Lightning Experience. So in order to do that, you go to the Lightning Experience App Manager. Now how I pulled this up was I searched for apps in setup inside of Lightning Experience and then clicked on App Manager. That brings up the Lightning Experience App Manager. And we want to look for the Service Console application, and it's a Lightning app type and it's visible in Lightning. And so I'm going to click the down arrow to select edit, and then we can go here and make adjustments to the Service Console. Now we've got the app details and branding, and you can change the colors in the image, for example, and the description. You have app options here as far as the console navigation or standard navigation, and you can include service setup. The utility bar, this is where you include the history and the notes, for example, and you can remove those if you wish. But here's where I want to go to is the select items designation under the edit app menu. And we have our available items. And so if we scroll down, we see that we've got knowledge here as an available item now that we enabled knowledge previously. So I'm going to click that, click the arrow to the right to move it over into the navigation. And this will add knowledge to the list of drop-down items in that console. So if I click save, and so if I go back to the console, I'm going to refresh my window in order to grab the latest updates from what I just saved there. And so we now have knowledge available as one of the options in the drop-down. And so if you notice, if I click on this, knowledge is in the list. Now we don't have any knowledge articles yet. We've not created any categories. We're going to do that soon. And so from this list though of knowledge list views, you've got different things as far as archived articles, draft articles, published, etc. And so what you can do is you can click on the down arrow and select new to start the creation of a new knowledge article. And so I enter a title and then it fills in the URL name for me. And this is just an example article that I'm going to create just briefly, just so that we start to flesh out our knowledge articles by starting with creating one. And as you notice as I'm typing here that this is a WYSIWYG editor. It's much like Microsoft Word. You can do formatting and some common things you do whenever you're writing a knowledge article or doing like technical writing type tasks that you'll do in knowledge is you'll bold like field names or italicize screen areas. And I did a lot of this back when I was a technical writer many years ago. And the WYSIWYG editor also supports keyboard shortcuts as well. And so when you're done with your article, you can just click save, and this is in draft mode. You notice publication status is in draft mode. And to publish an article, you just click publish. And so now I have published my first knowledge article. And we'll do more with knowledge articles in the next lectures, and we'll also be setting up data categories and article types as well. But you notice here we have version number 1, the date that is last modified, and then we've got the voting information here. So another way to really measure adoption and to effectively maintain your knowledge management lifecycle and measure adoption of knowledge is through reporting on it and measuring adoption that way. And so I wanted to go back into setup and go to the App Exchange and show you an app off the App Exchange that's available that will help you with that endeavor as far as tracking knowledge adoption. And so if I look for App Exchange and go to the App Exchange Marketplace and search for the term knowledge, I'll link to this app in the resources section of this lecture. But if we look for knowledge, we see that one of the first results that comes up is this knowledge-based dashboards and reports. So if I click on that, we see that it's Lightning ready. It's optimized for Lightning Experience, which is always good nowadays. It's also free, and it's provided by Salesforce Labs. And so Salesforce has Salesforce Labs available that create apps on the App Exchange, and you can trust these as usually pretty good applications. And I like to use these for different reports and dashboards. And so I need to log into App Exchange in order to get this. And so I'm going to allow access for the App Exchange to access my Salesforce instance. Once I've granted access, I go back to the tab I was in and I want to install here in this org. This is the knowledge-based dashboards and reports. I'm going to agree to the terms and confirm and install. And the reason I'm running you through this is because one of the ways that you will manage adoption is being able to see who's using Knowledge or how articles are rating. And so I'm going to install this app for admins only and click install and view the components. You can get an idea of what you'll receive whenever this is installed. And so you can see some of these examples are article scores by author. This is a way you can see which of your authors that are writing Knowledge articles score well. You can see how people are searching for Knowledge articles and what keywords they're using. This gives you a lot of insights into how your knowledge base is being used, and it helps to drive better adoption and better quality over time. You can see Knowledge article views, for example, and also articles on closed cases by author. These are just examples of what's available. I'll let you install this in your own org and explore this more fully, but this gives you an idea of some of the metrics that you look for in order to drive adoption with Salesforce Knowledge. And so when we're done, we'll close out of here and we'll go into the app manager, and we'll just close this out and we'll go into, let's just go into reports. I'm just going to go into the sales application to pull up some different tabs. And we've got our reports and dashboards tabs from the sales application. And so if I click reports, we now have all these new reports that are available. And a lot of these are from this App Exchange service and support. But let's see if we can find the Knowledge ones. And here's the Knowledge reports package actually. So let's click on that folder just to see the Knowledge reports. So in this Knowledge reports package folder, we've got a lot of different reports here. And for example, article scores, what is the average article rating per user in all channels? And so we're not going to have anything in here because none of our articles have been scored. We just created one article. But you get the idea as far as the different reports that are available that will help with measuring Knowledge adoption and driving better quality. And then as well, these different dashboards. Let's look at the folders here and find the Knowledge dashboards. We've got Knowledge by customer rep, Knowledge management, and publisher performance. And these won't have any data associated with them yet. But it'll give you an idea of what we're looking for. And we've got author rank by number created. So I've got one article created and I've got one article published. And so that is in the Knowledge tab. And we have that available inside of the Service Console. We did that earlier in this lecture. And we're going to continue on now as we drive farther into driving Knowledge adoption. And ways that we can improve that is by creating Knowledge data categories. And so we're going to get into the configuration of that in the next lecture.